I've said it 1,000 times, I'll say it again. I am super duper hyped for Rise of the Beasts, and Yolopark had to send me their 3 AMK series model kits just to get me even more excited. They sent these to me, and I did the unboxing video, and now we are giving these all their in-depth reviews. And first up, we have to talk about Optimus Prime, because he's the main man of the franchise, and these figures are very, very impressive. So before we talk about the figure itself, I do want to talk about the box, because this is the kind of standard packaging for these AMK series model kits. You can see it's got some cool little labels, very nice art from Rise of the Beasts. You can see right there, 20 centimeter model kit. And, you know, get some nice pictures on the side. And the back shows you not only pictures of the figure itself, but also the very easy assembly process. These are not model kits like you may think of when it comes to, Flame Toys, Bandai. You don't cut these out. Even the bigger Yolopark kit, it's not like that where you cut it out. Essentially, as you can see from this clip from my unboxing video, they're in trays. And as you can see from this right here, this diagram, you just assemble it with all the pieces you see here. The assembly is very easy. I didn't want to show it, to not spoil the fun if you decide to get these. And I highly recommend you do. They're very, very nice. I love them. So yeah, there's the good old Optimus Prime box. And now, here it is. Like I said, it is a very easy assembly. For me, I've built so many actual model kits. I don't really view this as much of like a traditional model kit in the sense as much as it is like a super fun posable figure that you just build when you get it. It's a buildable figure, and I think it absolutely accomplishes what it seeks out to do. And what it seeks out to do is make a very, very nice, very articulated, highly detailed, non-transforming figure of the character at a very affordable price. On Yolopark's website, before like shipping and everything, these are only 30 United States dollars each. They're roughly around 30 bucks each. Think about that. That is less than a modern Voyager class. And these things are pretty big. Like, you can see this is not a super tiny figure. It's pretty substantial. So what all does he come with? So he does have the 2 fist hands on him right now. So he's got 2 fist hands. And the other hands he comes with open hands, so you can have him clap his hands, I guess. Very nice little open hands there. You do get this right commanding hand with 2 fingers pointing, which is really cool. And you do get a right trigger finger hand. You don't get any weapons with Optimus Prime. Perhaps my only critique of these figures is that there's not enough accessories. There's no interchangeable faceplate for Optimus Prime. There's no weapons. In my opinion, it doesn't detract from the fact that this is a super awesome, really great action figure that I highly recommend you buy. But I wouldn't mind seeing, an accessory pack, maybe a deluxe version of this released at some point. But yeah, he's still very fun, very posable. I'm just really missing, like, a nice sword or, the hand cannon or an interchangeable faceplate. Very, very cool figure, though. That does not detract from this at all, in my opinion. Let's get him standing straight so we can do some size comparisons. So for other Transformers toy size comparisons, here it is with the Rise of the Beast mainline Voyager Optimus Prime and the Studio Series Deluxe Bumblebee. So you can see he's pretty big. He's much bigger than a Voyager, a lot bigger than a Deluxe. I would actually compare his size to a modern day leader class. He definitely has that leader class heft, the leader class size. He's very substantial, and I really enjoy that. Even though this is not a model kit in the traditional sense, I did want to compare it to Gundam model kits, since I'm very much into these. So here it is with a 1/144 scale deactive mode Strike Gundam that is an entry grade, same size as high grade. Love that thing, by the way. And here it is with a master grade RX-78-2 2.0. So you can kind of see it's bigger than a master grade, way bigger than a high grade. They're kind of in like the realm of like a larger master grade. And honestly, if these were like a fully assembled model kit, the complexity of all of the parts and pieces in this thing, I would say these are, when it comes to detail and complexity, very akin to a master grade. And here it is with a standard 6-inch Hasbro action figure, that being Black Series Hunter. And here it is with a Robot Spirits Gypsy Avenger from Bandai. That comparison will become a little bit more relevant later on. But yeah, these are pretty cool scales. I'm really happy with the size of this. It's so nice and big and substantial, especially for the cost. It's really nice. So taking a better look at the details on this thing, just look at this head sculpt. Look at this and tell me this is not movie Optimus Prime. Because that looks absolutely incredible. All the little line work, the silver, the metallic blue eyes, that is an amazing head sculpt. I love all the detail, like, sculpted in. Not everything is 100% painted, but since it's a model kit, one awesome thing is, this still gives you the option if you do want to go in and paint more detail. But they still painted a lot of detail, but they have so much more that's sculpted in that really adds so much detail to it. I mean, look at that abdomen right there. That looks amazing. The arms, too. The arms are so impressive. There's so much detail in the arms. It just looks so, so nice. You can see the forearms, too. There are, like, separate little panels. Like, that red piece right there is a panel that you apply during the assembly. Nice little hosing around the back. So much gunmetal and, red. So many little colors breaking up the color. There's a lot of things that are molded in the proper colors. He does have a little butt flap, which is cool. A lot of things that are molded in the proper colors, but there's still so many little things, like little golds here and there, just to add extra detail. So he's got like little gold hosing in the thighs. I love the lights on the knees. He's got the little cans right there. The wheels actually are working. They spin like actual wheels, which is kind of funny. Man, the detail is just remarkable. It really is. And even though the detail is remarkable, I think these figures excel in how they feel. The feeling of these is just something else. The tolerances, the joints, all of it these are some of the most fun non-transforming Transformers toys I have had when it comes to posability. And I do have to point out, these don't transform. There are many Transformers collectors that are like, oh, it's not a Transformer if it doesn't transform. And I mean, there's hundreds of Transformers toys that do transform, so if you don't like these, you can get those. But this does have a place for like people that want to, detail paint, people who do want like a more, building experience with it, and for people that just love having really nice, accurate representations of the toy, of like the character in plastic form. There's a lot of people that don't need their Transformers characters to transform. They just I want a nice looking Optimus Prime on the shelf. And this not only looks nice, but it is just a fun action figure. Let's get into how the feel kind of works with your articulation. So on the head up here, he's got a ball joint, and he has a ball joint down at the neck as well. So you get pretty much full range of articulation. You get a lot of up, you get a lot of down, tons of tilt, very expressive, very nice ball joint. The shoulders, revolutionary. I love them. So he has butterflies in there, which is super great. And then he has the shoulder pad, which is not only separate, but this panel on the shoulder is also separate. And then you have the hinge in there. And then you have the bicep right there. I just love how much the shoulder pad can get out of the way for you. That's why I think it's just so revolutionary. Because in the trailers for the movie, people noticed. It was only for the preliminary trailers. I think they fixed it. His shoulder was like clipping into his body when he like pointed at I think he pointed his gun at Optimus Primal. You could see the shoulder clipping. So I think Yolopark did a great job of making sure that you still got articulation out of the shoulder without it looking unnatural. Bicep swivel. The elbows are really nice how they work. So he does have double elbows, but you can almost hardly see the joints, which is super cool. You do have this little panel right here that moves out of the way. And that's really cool because that panel is actually a detail in the design. So you have the first joint, which moves about 90. Then the second joint moves it even further. And for the design of the robot, that's pretty good right there. That's a really nice joint. The hands are on really nice ball joints. Every single hand moves very fluidly, very softly. The torso has a nice little crunch right there. Tons of side to side. A little bit of, pivot up there. But the majority of the swivel is going to be down below. That's going to be where most of the swivel is. This is the most hindered part of Optimus Prime's articulation down here, but it's not even saying hindered. Like, out of all the articulations on all three of the AMK series figures, this is, like, still very good range, but because Optimus Prime's design, he has skirts. and you do have to move the skirts out of the way to get the maximum range of motion. So moving the skirts out of the way, and they're on little ball joints. With just the standard joint, you can get it to about there. But it does have the drop down, and once you drop it down and move it forward and kind of work with the joint, work with the skirting, you can get his legs forward about 90 degrees, which is pretty solid. It's a pretty solid range of articulation, but the other ones can do like really high kicks. Now with Optimus, I'm sure if you like, moved even more things out of the way, you could get the legs up even more. There's a lot of articulation to play with. There really is. Thigh swivel. He does have double jointed knees. Oop, what came off? Ooh, this panel. That's interesting. This panel isn't even one you like put together while you're building him. Maybe it is. I don't think so. Yeah, it just tabs in, covers the screw holes right there. Pretty simple. It's very nicely constructed. It really is. I'm actually surprised that happened. The knees do a nice bend. There is no like piston action going on with the knees, but there is a little bit of armor that goes into the thigh, which is pretty cool to see. And the feet, a lot of down, decent amount up. You do get a little bit of toe articulation, just a little bit. Oh, actually, you get even more. I just was too afraid to move it. Yeah, you get a lot of toe articulation, actually. And you do get a really nice ankle tilt. So the articulation on this Optimus is incredible, in my opinion. Absolutely incredible. Love, love, love it. So is the Optimus my favorite of the three? Probably not. But that's not saying that this Optimus is bad by any means. This Optimus Prime toy is absolutely stellar. And in my opinion, since I've loved this design since 2018, when it first debuted in the Bumblebee movie, now granted there's like little subtle changes, I've always wanted a really nice, non-transforming representation of this design. And this is pretty stellar. I mean, this articulation is insane. The feel is very nice. And I do want to bring in another figure. I did bring this in before. I wanted to compare the feel to that of Bandai's Robot Spirit / Robot Damacy figures. Because these right here, the ones from Pacific Rim Uprising, are some of the nicest feeling robot action figures I have in my collection. And that title, that description, also goes to these Yolopark figures. Yolopark knocked it out of the park. I probably already have said that. I probably will continue to say it. I can't help it. Yolopark did an excellent job. You can see how Bandai constructed these. There's a lot of metal pins. There's a lot of nice plastics. A lot of it's like molded in the proper color, and there's like little, hits of paint here and there. And that pretty much is what these feel like. These feel incredible. And with that being said, here we go. There is the Yolopark AMK series Optimus Prime model kit. Simply incredible. Love, love, love it. Like I said, the only critique that I have, and it's not even anything marking against the figure itself. I just wish it came with a little bit more. I would have loved the hand cannon, the arm blades, a faceplate without the mask on. That's not a knock towards the figure at all. The figure's incredible. They might do a deluxe version at some point, maybe. He does have this trigger finger hand. Maybe they were going to give him a rifle. I'm only assuming it might have been like a budget cut issue, but still, I'm not going to hold it against it. The fact that my complaint is I wish there was more of this toy is, I would say, like a criticism and also a compliment. I love it. Really great, really nicely done. At the very end here, these are the next videos coming out, but I do want to have, at the end of all of them, let me bring in Optimus Primal right here. Let me bring in Bumblebee. All three of these are simply incredible, and I really do recommend them. If this is something that you think you want in your Transformers life, if you want these, just as nice, posable action figures of the characters from Rise of the Beast, I say go for it. If you see model kit and you're like, oh, I'm not really good at cutting things out and painting things, blah, 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 none of that's required with these. Not a single part of that. The only cutting you have to do, actually, you can see from this, is cutting the little tabs to get the clamshell separated. That's the only cutting you got to do. Yeah, these are just great. They're affordable. They're really nice, and I can't recommend them enough. So there we go, guys. There's my look at Optimus Prime. We're going to take a look at Bumblebee next, and we're going to save my personal favorite for last, Optimus Primal. Thank you so much, Yolopark, for sending these my way, because they are insanely awesome, and they have dialed my hype for Rise of the Beast. It was already at like 12, so it's probably up to like 13 or 14 now. Thank you so much, Yolopark. Links are down in the description to their website, to the order pages. Special thanks, guys. Thank you very much. I do also need to thank the channel members as well. Your support really helps the channel keep going. Channel members get early access to videos. They didn't get early access to these ones because I have to get these out before the movie comes out, because, you know, we gotta get this hype rolling. But I really do want to always thank you guys for all the support I get. Alrighty, there we go. Have a great one, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.